Today's video has a purpose, two purposes actually. First and foremost is I need Dilophosaurus Gen 2. It's now a day, dawn, dusk park spawn, and as you see I have just over 100, and realistically I need 6 more fusions. So I need to be at about 3,000 DNA to get Tyrannolophosaur up to level 20, and then I will be clear to start unlocking Tenontorex. The problem is I'm going to need well over 3,000 DNA of Dilophosaurus Gen 2 in order to put any real motion towards Tenontorex. So what I'm going to do today, first and foremost, like I said, there are two things that I want to do in today's video. The first thing that I'm going to do is, well, there's a premium incubator there, if anybody's interested in that, is I'm at a park. It's a good sized park. Not nearly as many supply drops as there used to be, but what I'm going to do is I have several of these common sense, not common sense, but common sense. And I'm gonna try to get as much Dilophosaurus Gen 2 DNA as I possibly can during the first part of this video. 20 minutes is on the clock, may even do 30 minutes, and Lythornyx is our first spawn. So here we go. I've done 30 minutes worth of common scent capsules. I just picked up another one in this special event supply drop tower, and I think, without going back and rewatching the video, I think I picked up 6 Dilophosaurus Gen 2, which, considering there are 19 park spawns, including I think it's 10 commons, picking up 6 over 30 minutes doesn't seem like that bad of a ratio. The problem is, and this isn't the first time that I've heard about it, there were no proximity spawns. I don't know about for the entire time that I was walking around for the full 30 minutes. I cannot guarantee without going back and rewatching to see if there were any proximity spawns, but I know 100% for fact over the last 5 minutes, and speaking of 5 minutes, since I picked up an additional scent capsule at the special event supply drop, I'm headed over to that strike tower, so I'm going to go ahead and skip Irritator Gen 2. But I know for fact that over the last 10 minutes, the last 2 regular small scent capsules, there was not a single park proximity spawn. Not only that, like, I'm not even talking about specific proximity spawn to a park, I'm talking about a proximity spawn at all. And I gotta imagine that that's gotta be an error in coding. I mean, if you look around, this is a big park. And when the game first launched, when special event supply drops were only in parks, this park was completely filled with supply drops. And now, since they're everywhere, there are hardly any in this park, at least compared to what there was. I wanna say there were in the upwards of 35 to 40 supply drops in the park, and that's not the case anymore. And here, like, I've been walking for a minute and a half in this park, not a single park, not a single proximity spawn. I don't want to get confused here by saying park proximity spawn as if a global spawn has happened. None. Ludia, I know you guys have been known to watch my videos. Can we look into this? Because that's kind of a big deal. if you're going to have 19 potential dinos to dart in a park, let's see what I get here. Nothing that I really want to mess with. But none of them proximity spawn. I mean, there's only a handful of dinos that are legit spawned. Like, I don't even know what you'd call those. But there's only a handful of dinos that are like location spawns. And in fact, this Dimorphodon is the only one currently on my screen that is a park spawn. It's got to be fixed because there's some good, valuable DNA in parks, but if they don't ever spawn, then what's the point? My final scent capsule spawns for this puts at 35 minutes worth of scent capsules used in the park. I got quite a few rares. No more Dilophosaurus Gen 2 like I wanted out of this last one. Some Nodosaurus. There is an Iguanodon, which also spawned. But let me know in the comments below if you are darting at a park, or if you visit parks looking for dinosaurs. Let me know what your experience has been, because I'm actually really interested. Okay, so there's a proximity spawn. It has been almost 15 minutes, but this Apatosaurus is a proximity spawn, I believe. Although it wasn't there a minute ago, and I haven't moved. But let me know your experience. Because, like, worst case, I think they just need to be buffed. The number of spawns. If I walk through my neighborhood, I never go 15 minutes without a proximity spawn. And that really shouldn't happen in a park either. It's kind of troubling. I'm being totally honest here. I say when it's good and I call out when it's bad, and this is pretty bad. And I'll tell you what else might be bad. Is that Tenontosaurus that I can't get to that I really would like. Now for the second part of today's video, and honestly that park thing was something on the spur of the moment that I was noticing. It really wasn't my intention to do this video about park spawns, but I really felt like that needed to be addressed. It was supposed to be about Dilophosaurus. But speaking of Dilophosaurus, and I'm talking about Gen 2 here, Dilophosaurus Gen 1, everybody knows my struggles with that dinosaur. And there he is right there, or she. But I had just over 100. I ended up at just over 2,000. So that's actually almost 2,000 worth of DNA. It's just under it, which, you know, I mean, it's entirely possible that I get there in 4 fuses. Doubtful. If I get a 10, it's for sure not going to happen. If I knock out 30s and above, it could. Well, there's 2 30s. Which is going to leave me 2 more 30s away, or I could just hit a 60 right here. That's not going to work. So now I need 50 or higher, really limiting my pool, and 2 10s. So it looks like I'm still 1,000 Dilophosaurus Gen 2 DNA away, but that also is not what today's video is about. No. Today's video about Dimodactylus. This is going to be created from the common dinosaur of the Dimorphodon. I apologize, I don't know all these names yet. And the Tupac, or Tupandactylus. It is an epic class dinosaur. I know nothing about it. I'm gonna drop some. I could have used that 30 again a minute ago, but I'm gonna fuse this up to unlock it. God, that'd have been great. I was 2 spawns, 2 fuses short of being. What is going on here? I definitely would have preferred all that on the other dinosaur. The 10 is to be expected, but I can't complain about those. Those were great fuses. So this is going to unlock my newest epic dinosaur. Like I said, I don't know anything about this. Create. Let me look at these stats here. It's a flyer. I'm sure it has a swap in attack. Dimodactylus. Health of 1443 seems a little low. Speed of 126. Damage is extremely low at 395. Swap in wound is going to do damage over time for 25% of target's health for 2 turns. Okay, but then you're stuck in for 2 turns. Impact and run is pretty useful on a dinosaur that isn't going to be doing a lot of damage. Short defense, okay. And then lethal wound, 1 times damage. Wow. Okay. So what I'm gonna do for today's video is I'm going to level this up probably to 15. Depends, but probably to 15. And then I've got a strike tower right there. I'm gonna put this thing into act. I was about 1,000 dimorphodons short of making my dinosaur up to level 15. The reason why I chose level 15 is because it's probably gonna need to be level 20 if it gets a unique hybrid. It's already a hybrid. If it had a legendary, then 15 would be good enough. And if it gets unique, it'll be 20. So I would stop at 15 if I were you, in preparation for a future legendary, if one is to come. But I was about 1,000 short of reaching it, but no big deal. What I'm gonna do, if I can, is I'm gonna set up a strike team, and I'm gonna try to make a strike team of all swap-in dinos and see what happens. Basically, I'm gonna use it. Let's be real. Like this tower, I'm going to get my goodies out of this, but it's a single strike. It's a common class, although high demand hybrids. This shouldn't be any trouble. Oh, well, here we go. Who's Sarcorixus? I shouldn't have any problem with this, although I don't outclass them by much. It could be a little more competitive than one would originally think. I'm gonna start with I'm actually gonna start with Dracorex Gen 2. The reason being is because the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out and poison with my Dimodactylus. So it's gonna be 20%. Which one is it? I think it was 25%. That hurt. I'm not even gonna lie, that hurt a lot. It is gonna do 25%. So then I'm going to stack 33% on top of this. And I'm definitely getting knocked out here. Like, there's no doubt about that. But I take one with me when I go. And then I think Pteranodon just got a huge buff for speed. I believe it went up to 129. And definitely faster. And at any point I could swap in my Dracorex Gen 2 and I'm gonna knock them out. So short defense, that's not really gonna work again. Ooh, I have counterattack too. That's not really gonna work against my Pteranodon because my Pteranodon has the shield breaker. Still not enough to knock it out, but this impact and run, there's nowhere to run. My counterattack is going to knock it out, and as expected. God, these flyers, they just don't hit very hard. And I think if you leveled them up, I think if you found a strat of, and by leveling them up, I mean significantly. Let's see what's in this incubator. The classic hybrids are what we had last week. Apatosaurus and Caprosuchus. Not bad. But I think you'd have to level them up significantly, and by that I mean, like, I think they're gonna have to be over leveled. But maybe if you found the right set of swap-ins where you could constantly be swapping in, doing some damage, swapping out, deflecting some damage, maybe somebody a lot smarter than me can come up with some kind of a flying reptile swap and attack deck that would work. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. So until next time.